Hello, and welcome to Shortcut Up CNC. Today we're going to talk about how to measure a model in a 3D view. It's very simple. Once you bring your model in and you've got it adjusted to where it's sitting on the bottom, see here I've got my outline of my material, and that's turned on by this little box right here, or this little indicator icon, if you want to call it that. But real simple, easy measuring. And of course, if you look at this from the side view, it's hard to see okay, there we go. You notice it's below the surface. My material thickness is 2.125. I added a little bit for the amount of thickness. And that could be for imperfections in your board, or the board is not planed smooth at the top. You want to cut that away. So you'll have to use those adjustments for your tool paths too. And of course, if I measure to this depth that I want to cut to, I cannot do this in the same what could be added here is when you do this, it shows the thickness right next to the cursor, rather than looking down here in the right hand corner. But if you look in that right hand corner, the Z, it says -1875. And that's exactly the depth I want to cut if I want to make a pocket. But I don't have any vectors set for this. So what I'm going to do is go over here to the 2D view real quick. And I'm going to highlight my model. And I'm going to go here and add vectors to the model. Of course, it doesn't add this 2-inch diameter for this area here. This is at the bottom, this is in the inside, but it doesn't add one here, and I'm not sure why. But what I know what the dimension is, so it's 2-inch diameter. So I just go to the center here and click, and it'll add a vector that I need. Now, uh, the vectors also, when they're added, they're grouped. So I'm going to ungroup those vectors, which I highlighted first, and then I hit the ungroup. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a 2-inch, and I'm going to hold the shift key down on my keyboard, and I'm going to select this perimeter, which is the actual material board perimeter. You may not want that. You may have clamps holding the board down and everything. In fact, what we can do here is we can change this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to offset it inwards. Let's say 0.5. And I want to keep the sharp corners. Okay, well, that's not going to be good because it's going to be, okay, so we'll do an undo and we'll make it 0.125 inwards. All right, now we'll just use that. And of course, that's 1/8. You could probably put screws in there or whatever. But anyway, you get the idea of the point here is I'm trying to create a pocket. Hold the shift key down, 2-inch pocket, and let's see, we want to go 1.875, and let's see, that's going to be 15 passes to get there, but that's okay. We can quickly view it. All right, we're using a 1/4-inch end mill, and let's see, well, no allowance. I don't need an allowance on that, so we're just going to cut it. All right, now we're going to preview that. Well, previewing it's not going to do any good because I don't have my material board showing. So, uh, reset. Okay, there's the material board and the outline area. And of course, our model disappears because it's within the inside of the material here. All right, let's reset. Click this, preview visible. All right, there, cut the box. Okay, that's pretty much what I was looking for. Okay, now it's 875 cut down. And now I'm going to do an inside cut for my vector here. We can actually duplicate this. Just double click on it, change the to pocket 2, and let's see, we're going to go all the way through this time. It's going to be 2.125 or a little bit more. I'm just going to go to 1.25 for the preview sake, and we're going to use a 1/4 inch. And I don't want, yeah, I want the pocket for this, and I got to highlight the vector that I want to use, and I say okay to that, preview that, and boom, it cut all the way through. Now we're going to cut the model out from the material. So now what I can do is close this. And why I'm doing all this is I want to show you that that 1875 is going to leave a 2.5 thickness, which is what I gave this bottom piece or bottom segment. So that's what we're trying to create. Okay, I need the vector, and I need a profile toolpath, and I want to go to that surface 1875, 1.875, and then you go here and you can actually type in 2.125 minus 1.875 equals 25. Okay, and we go on the outside with a let's see, I need to change that to a 1/4 inch bit that I want to use. And now we'll go all the way down here, calculate, and we'll preview that, get rid of the excess material, and take a look at what we've got here. All right, if I go to here, it shows it's a 0 at the Z. Okay, and if I go all the way to the bottom, it's 2.125. Okay, so that's, well, something, it didn't take away the material. Okay, I didn't do a pocket to remove the 125. That's what happened. I had to create a pocket on here in order to get my dimension correctly. So what I'm going to do real quick is go over here, go close that, pocket, and we're going to go to the 2D view, and we're going to grab this 2-inch diameter circle, and I want to go to 125, 0.125 in depth, calculate, and we preview that, and it gets rid of it. Now if I do the measuring, it's going to show the 125 depth from the top of the material board, which is correct. And if we go to the bottom here and put the cursor on it, it's still showing 2.125, and it will do that because it's measuring it from the actual material board thickness. So it's an actual 2-inch model. So just subtract the 125 and you got it. Now, if I want to check this thickness here, it's 1875 to here, and then here it's 2.125. So if I take those numbers and I subtract them from each other, it should give me 0.25 for this particular item on the bottom. But that there is a way of measuring your model for the depth. You just put your cursor over the surface and look at the numbers in the bottom right hand corner of your screen or for your window. It gives you the X, it gives you the Y, it gives you the Z. Thank you for watching Shark Cut Up CNC.